I was 200 pounds and miserable. So I decided to go on the South Beach diet, and it worked for me. I lost 60 pounds, and throughout high school, which is the second row here, I maintained it. But after I graduated high school, I gained not only the freshman 15, but the freshman 40. So this last picture right here is before I went to the doctor. I had an ear infection, and they weighed me before I went in, which I thought was stupid because I was afraid of scales. And they told me that I was 185 pounds, and I cried and cried, and I was like, how can I do this to myself? So I decided to take my nutrition into my hands, and that's what I did. And since then, which was August of last year, I've lost over 30 pounds and over 18 inches on my body. So this is what I've come to understand is how to live a healthy lifestyle. Meat is a very large part of the American diet, I'm sure you all know that, and it contains a handful of vitamins and minerals which are good for you, but it also causes and is linked to bowel cancer, Alzheimer's, impotence, acne, so it's good to eat it in moderation. And what nutritionists have come up with is 1 to 2 servings every other day, which I'm sure none of you really want to cut back on meat that much, you know what I'm saying? So Meatless Mondays, which were invented in World War I to ration meat for the troops, is really coming back and coming into our homes and helping us, at least for Mondays, take a step back and look at the other varieties of food that we have and to understand that there are protein alternatives. Meat is not a superfood. It doesn't have everything you need, you know, so it's good to step back, especially for just one day a week to see that. Processed foods are also a very large part of the American diet, and the San Francisco Chronicle defines them as foods that are boxed, canned, or bagged, that are extensively processed, not found in nature, and have a lot of additives and chemicals. Anything basically that's not popping up from the ground or hanging off a tree, and those include candies, chips, boxed meals, you know, basically anything, just like I said, that's not coming up from the ground. And these also contain a lot of chemicals, like I said, which are very detrimental to your health. So it's good for us to understand that we don't need anything that's pre-made, and if your food can't go bad within a year, it's probably not good for you inside, as you can see from this picture. So that brings us to garden goodies, which is really cheesy, I know. But these are fruits and vegetables, and it's good to avoid the frozen, canned, and candied because you're not getting the full nutrition that these fruits and vegetables offer. So what we want to do is we want to go for fresh and colorful, organic if possible, and local if possible, even though I know it's difficult. And buying organic, you don't have to buy everything organic. Some fruits and vegetables have a higher residue of pesticide than others. Say for potatoes, they're stuck in the ground, so they're sucking up the pesticides in the soil and getting sprayed, you know? So it's good to buy those organic as opposed to avocados, which have a hard shell and have a lower pesticide residue. And these reduce cholesterol, high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, and increase your capacity to go. It increases your mood, your intellectual capacity. And corn is a large part of the American vegetable diet, but it is not actually a vegetable. It is a grain, and I didn't even know that. And it's not a very good one either. It's high in sugar, it has some fiber, but it really is just nutritionally valueless besides that. So it's good to treat it as, sorry, the picture makes me laugh. It's good to treat it as a grain and eat it in moderation. To go along with healthy eating, exercise is super, super, super important. MedicalDictionary.com defines it as physical activity that is planned, structured, or repetitive for the purpose of conditioning any part of the body. And it's really just getting moving, finding something that you really enjoy. If you're not wanting to do a weight loss routine, you don't have to work out every single day for 2 hours at the gym. Just find something that you like. Just going outside and walking, bowling, kissing, eating with chopsticks, anything that'll reduce your calorie count and get your muscles moving. And they prevent and they treat coronary heart disease and obesity and depression. And it also helps you with your capacity to learn. It helps you sleep better when you've exercised. It helps you feel better about yourself. Exercise and eating well really go together perfectly. It's really a 20-80 ratio when you think about it, because what you're putting in your body really does matter. So in understanding how you can become healthy, it's good to know what's in your food, know the nutrition your body needs, know how to get active and how to enjoy being active, and know the permanence of your food, because your food is not a temporary thing. What you're putting in your body is not just, oh, I'm hungry, I'm going to put this in my body, and so we go on and it's all cool. What it is coming into your body, and your cells are getting nutrients from that food. So especially with processed food, it's building your cells for tomorrow. and for years to come, really. And it's also good to remember that you are a role model for your friends and your family. And your children are going to look at you, your friends and your family are going to look at you and see the decisions that you're making, and they're going to be inspired by that. And with my weight loss in particular, I know I didn't really think that anybody really cared. I made a Tumblr and took pictures and stuff. We were like, oh yeah, it's cool, you know, but after I lost most of my weight, which I'm halfway there, I've noticed that people are starting to make better decisions from them. They're coming to me for advice, so it's good to know that you are a role model and people really are watching. So are there any questions? Yes?
It's kind of two in one. Number one, how does sleeping naked help you reduce calories?
I know it's weird, I know it's weird.
And number two, how relevant do you feel gluten is as a factor in weight
For
loss?
number one, sleeping naked is kind of a weird thing. I just want to put weird ways. Your body has to regulate its temperature throughout the night. So if you're not wearing pajamas, it's more difficult for it to regulate temperature. So if you're sleeping naked and with, this is weird, being naked and talking about being naked in front of a class, but sleeping naked and having a light sheet on you will make it more difficult for your body to regulate its temperature and therefore have it work throughout the night so that it's working. And gluten, I've done some research on gluten. A lot of people are more sensitive to gluten. There's celiac disease, so that's the actual disease that's like life-threatening. I have a sensitivity, it just hurts my tummy, you know. So I don't think it's super important. For some people it is though, because it has a lot of inflammatory problems and things like that. Does that make sense? Does that help?
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.